Last game here for the day to decide who is 4th and who is 5th at the end of regular season play. Me and Azael are back to take you through this one as we have for the entire second half of the day here. And FlyQuest already fell to Golden Guardians earlier today. We'll see if Golden Guardians can run it back, make it happen again, or if FlyQuest will get that revenge.
Yeah, that run back gets that much harder for FlyQuest because they do have this emergency sub. Santorin's sick. Maxi coming in here, going to be making his first appearance with FlyQuest. And this is a guy who is on the FlyQuest Academy. They were 9-9 this split. And some of his best champions were the Gragas, in particular, actually Nunu and Willem that we did see showcase last game. So we'll see if he's going to be going with comfort or if he's going to be trying to play more of a carry style, similar to how Santorin often plays.
Well, we'll see the Lissandra first picked in here for FlyQuest. The bans this game: Karthus, Tahm Kench, Swain, Rek'Sai, Sylas, Jace. That Tahm Kench the desk was talking about will not be a factor this time around. See how Golden Guardians wants to continue doing this after picking the Ryze and Braum for themselves.
Yeah, we'll see if they're going to be going to any sort of kind of crazy carry style top lane. Viper had been bringing out Riven quite a lot a couple weeks back, but it has seemed to kind of take a little bit of a back seat in these last couple of games that they have been playing. Rakan coming through makes you assume that they're going to be grabbing up a Xayah here. You almost only see Rakan paired with Xayah these days, so FlyQuest may just be talking through scenarios that could be coming out after this pick, but I am certainly expecting if the Xayah doesn't come through, it's going to get banned out.
Well, it looks like they're looking to the jungle instead. They want to make sure they grab Maxi, a pick that he's comfortable on, before the second part of the bans can come through.
Very interesting, because that is the most played for Santorin, but not maybe one of the most successful picks for Maxi in Academy. So it feels like they are kind of defaulting to what the LCS team is used to playing with, playing around, and they're going to try to have Maxi kind of mold his style to the rest of this FlyQuest squad.
And as Golden Guardians answer with their own jungler in the J4, your prediction is correct. As soon as the second part of the bans come through, Xayah is the first ban for Golden Guardians.
That's really what you are kind of giving up, because Rakan is so much more powerful when paired with the Xayah. Not only the attack speed from that Xayah W, but also the longer range battle dance that you can actually jump to your teammate from further away. The shared recall, obviously a small thing, but still relevant, and we'll see what they want to pair alongside this Rakan to really still make it feel impactful. Are they going to try to draft something like an early game pick along the lines of a Lucian or even a Draven for WildTurtle to try to be effective with that? Because mostly it has been for FlyQuest about the scaling picks, and I think the Turtle has looked best when put on something more like a Jinx.
Well, Golden Guardians will ban away the Riven now, keeping Viper away from that signature champion that he has popped off on in the past. Akali banned out by FlyQuest to keep that out of the hands of the solo laners of Golden Guardians, and there's one more ban to go. Neither side has picked an AD carry yet. Both sides also need an additional solo laner. FlyQuest, what'll it be? Looks like the answer is a blank box. Okay.
We'll see if that's a misfire there or what exactly is going to happen. We may end up having to do a remake, but we will find out. Lucian is going to get locked in here for Deftly. Pairing alongside the Braum is going to give them a really strong 2v2 in the bottom side of the map.
Absolutely. Over on the side of FlyQuest, we'll see how they decide to pair up that Rakan now that they cannot put him with the Xayah. You originally saw Turtle hover over the Jinx there for a moment. Now looking towards the Ezreal. This is a pick that was super popular at the start of the split. For a long time, double tier Ezreal was just the terror of bottom lane back before crit items got reworked and they were all garbage. Nobody wanted to play those, so it was Ezreal Lucian, Ezreal Lucian, Ezreal Lucian. Ezreal's sort of fallen by the wayside a bit recently, but he will be picked up here along with Irelia.
And this is a confirmed no ban for FlyQuest, so the draft will proceed as normal. No 5th ban locked in by them. And we will be potentially getting
very strange.
A Galio mid, yeah. We're not sure exactly, why that was, but it has been confirmed by QC that that will stand. So we will not be having any sort of remake.
I don't think that's ever the right choice.
I would agree, certainly. I think that, there's always, even if you're worried about overlapping champion pools, there's always something that you will never pick that they might pick.
Right, even if it's a 1% chance they'll pick it.
Exactly, so.
Just, if you think that you will never pick Garen, there is one universe out of the millions of possible timelines out there where they pick Garen. Ban it out. I don't know. I won't go into it anymore. I'm going to disagree with it, and that's it. But over on the side of Golden Guardians, the last pick is going to be the Poppy here to round out the squad. Again, wanting Hauntzer to be that front line.
So a lot of dive here from this FlyQuest side. I think that Poppy is a brilliant pick into this squad. There's so many dashes and so many kind of move blocks that you can be really disruptive with. The Ezreal and the Irelia in particular are going to be really frustrated by this Poppy and that W. You do see, though, that they flex Lissandra up the top lane, so Irelia does not have to lane against the Poppy, which is a pretty strong early matchup into it.
I believe Ezreal's Arcane Shift is not interrupted by Steadfast Presence because it's a blink and not a dash.
You may be correct, yeah.
Steadfast Presence is supposed to only interrupt the dashes, so blinks like Lissandra's teleport into the Claw and Ezreal's Arcane Shift won't be affected.
Rakan and Irelia.
Yeah, Rakan, Irelia. I don't think it stops the Nocturne ultimate because Nocturne's not stoppable in flight.
You are unstoppable.
But it may still do the damage. I don't know if he flies through the Steadfast Presence while ulting.
That would actually be hilarious if you died midair.
Yeah, you try to collide into Poppy, just bunk your head into the wall and die. Not the scariest of ghosts.
Either way, you are going to be able to interrupt not only the Rakan, but the Irelia, two of those champions, which it's critical that they actually land those dashes, especially for Irelia, if you do get denied that reset, because Poppy is actually rejecting that dash. That is big. And when you have 4 men diving in, and Poppy with an ultimate that can knock you back out, that is pretty powerful and something you got to watch out for.
Here we go, on to the Rift for the final time of regular season play. And remember, no matter who wins this game, one of these teams is 4th, the other one is 5th, which means they are guaranteed to play each other in the quarterfinals next weekend. So this is a preview of sort of what we can expect from that matchup.
Certainly is. We already saw them play once today. We have potentially 7 matches from these two teams. Best of 5 in quarters. We get 2 today. We'll see if it's going to go the distance and who's going to get side selection for that critical quarterfinals.
And maybe that's why they didn't ban. I'm still trying to figure out why you wouldn't ban. And maybe you're trying to play some like 5D intergalactic Connect 4 and say, we don't want you to know that we're on to what you might be picking because that would let you know what we're thinking, which is what you're thinking.
It's definitely possible. It also could be they have a new player on stage. Maybe communication was not clear. Maybe they didn't, know what to ban and lost their timing there. So we maybe get to find out in an interview or something later on.
Well, as a little bit of poke is traded back and forth, Riv is standing by with a sideline interview with Invert.
Thank you, gentlemen. Invert coming into this matchup, clearly a disadvantage having to sub out Soren for Santorin for the sickness. What have you done over the past 3 hours to kind of get Maxi ready, and how is the general feel for the team?
I think generally we just made sure that he could play his game, that he knew that, taking the successful kind of strategies that he had into Academy and understanding his role and making sure that he wasn't pulled around the map and, kind of allowing him to say no to things, right? Like if people are trying to pull him for ganks constantly, even though they're more experienced in their role, that, they don't necessarily know the jungle as well, and so that he's able to say no to these things, just kind of coaching him through that, and then obviously the nerves and whatnot of being faced with the situation. Yeah.
Sound advice for a game on the big stage. Invert, thank you very much and best of luck in the game. Back to you guys at the desk.
As we get back into the game, Pobelter's forced to flash away from what could have been a kill there in the mid lane. And by the way, in case you haven't noticed it, it's a lane swap by the solo laners. Froggen going top, Hauntzer going mid.
Yeah, I called out that they would be putting the Lissandra top to avoid this matchup. Instead, they're going to have to play it anyway, and Turtle maybe going down.
One more shot will do it, and first blood over to Deftly.
Yeah, they just get smacked by the Lucian Braum. So much of a stronger 2v2 than Ezreal and Rakan is going to be early on. And, Hauntzer moving over here to have this preferential 1v1 is putting Pobelter in a really rough spot. That level 2 gank from Contractz also making work.
Hauntzer going deep underneath enemy turrets there. Does get ignited. Damage coming out from Contractz, but he's taken out.
Pobelter looked like he actually dodged the knock up there with the Q. Queuing back behind him, I do believe. That was sick, and he comes up with the kill, as well as the red buff. That is massive to get that kill when you have been ganked twice already.
Let's take another look at how he did it here.
Yeah, so here it is one more time. Hauntzer gets him low. Contractz goes in to finish him off. Yeah, he just Qs straight behind him. And I did not know the interaction worked like that. I would have thought J4 would have the knockup as he did pass through, but Pobelter repositioning behind where that knockup was coming through, avoiding it, getting the outplay 1v2 and the red buff. That is massive.
And I applaud Pobelter for how well he played it, but at the same time, going for it on the side of Golden Guardians seemed a bit haphazard, and that opens the window for FlyQuest to now be feeling very good in the mid lane.
Yeah, certainly the case. You actually lane swapped for this matchup, and Now it's a kill onto Irelia, and it's also red buff onto Irelia, so certainly going to be feeling very good about that. And I agree, it certainly wasn't executed very well. Hauntzer and Contractz didn't go in at the same time. Hauntzer didn't actually land his stun, didn't connect with him against the wall or anything like that, so was certainly not a clean dive by any means. They do get punished by Pobelter's good play.
Pobelter now with that red buff in mid lane, as you pointed out, feeling pretty good there. We'll be able to regenerate on that one. Still down in terms of farm. So he's got a ways to catch up on that. You can also see Froggen smashing the farm here in the top side as well, up against Viper's Lissandra. 35 to 25 on those guys.
Yeah, these are pretty rare types of lane swaps that you see in LCS, but I think it's actually really, really smart, to actually make this sort of a move where you have Froggen making it a range versus range matchup against Lissandra. That's going to be better than if you had the Poppy up there and you get a better matchup in mid lane too. So I think it's an intelligent move. And if I recall correctly, we did see Froggen do this way back on Echo Fox, actually had a lane swap game where they were in a similar situation and were able to pull it off.
And I want to applaud Golden Guardians on creativity, because this was the thing that I praised them for last year as well. Even when they were the last place team in the LCS, during the insanity of last year when Marksman originally fell from grace and were no longer welcome in the bottom lane, and teams had to figure out how to play this new version of League of Legends, Golden Guardians was one of the first teams to adapt and actually got a lot of wins by playing stuff that other people would scratch their heads at, like Heimerdinger and Fiddlesticks. And the ability of a team to adapt and say, oh no, we can just turn this around like this and play it slightly differently, and that's going to go way better for us, I think is something that a lot of North American teams especially struggle with.
Yeah.
And I like seeing Golden Guardians make these adaptations.
It also speaks a lot to the flexibility that these players are bringing, right? Not everyone would be comfortable. Playing for side selection in playoffs is a big deal, and to be playing a lane that you are not normally in is not always going to make them most comfortable. You can see now that Viper has actually swapped to mid lane to match the Poppy, so they're trying to actually avoid this, and it's going to start kind of this game of ring around the rosy, right? Poppy running up to top lane now and saying, no, okay, you lane swap, I'm going to lane swap too, just going to follow you around the map.
And you can see on the side of your screen there, a little bit of an update for those who are not normally tuned into Academy. 1 win, 1 loss for Maxi on Nocturne throughout the Academy Spring split. So 2.6 KDA, not amazing numbers, not terrible numbers, pretty average.
Yeah, but it's not anything outside of his comfort zone, which is good to know. But now they're going in on Maxi.
Maxi gets himself over the wall with the flash to make sure he stays safe. No flash available for Contractz to chase after him there, even if he wanted to. But Golden Guardians now have control over this bottom part of the map. Definitely looking to find some damage onto JayJ, who dashes himself back over the wall. Golden Guardians will trade aggressively with FlyQuest as Contractz is left to farm up those Krugs.
And definitely, despite getting that early kill, the CS advantage has not ballooned by any means, so Turtle is being able to pretty effectively farm this out from that disadvantage. He has his tier, he has a cull, he has biscuits and refillable as well, so he's certainly going to be pretty comfortable to actually just sit back, farm with Q, and try to keep this lane in a pretty neutral state. But that being said, if an all-in does occur, you certainly have to favor the Lucian Braum.
And remember, we are still playing on 9.5, so this is Ezreal that can still build 2 tiers. So the late game super scaling is possible up until we hit that 9.6 patch, at what point, remember recently they were nerfed, so you can only have one of the evolutions, which is a hit on Ezreal's late game power. But we'll see here if Golden Guardians can continue trying to make things happen in the early game. Game's pretty much tied up right now, 100 gold separating the teams, despite Golden Guardians getting themselves that nice kill in the bottom lane early. The death in mid ended up equalizing things pretty heavily here.
Yeah, pretty even across the board. Farm dead even in mid lane, a little bit of advantage, as you say, in top lane for farm, but the kill evens that out. So really close game by all regards. And we're going to have to see if FlyQuest can actually execute with this comp. It kind of is reminiscent to some of the things that they drafted in the early weeks, where it was so much engaged, so much dive. Went back to those early times, and nice early flash from Froggen.
Froggen avoids it right there. He goes flash for flash with the enemy mid laner and also wastes the Nocturne ultimate, which, remember, just at level 6 is over 2 minutes on a cooldown.
Yeah, it feels so bad to actually get nothing from that early ultimate, that first one. I always feel like it's so critical on Nocturne, because you essentially want to be in this rhythm where you're ulting on cooldown, and besides that, you just want to be power farming, getting the levels up, because you are at your strongest by far when you have that ulti. So now, not only do they lose that, they lose the flash off of Viper, so some of that engaged potential is certainly gone.
Well played there from Froggen, recognizing as soon as the paranoia comes out, oh, that's on me, time to bail.
Yeah, that was really, really well done from him, and lane swaps continue. Pobelter goes mid. Hauntzer's jogging down to mid lane. He's just following him around.
We're just going to keep doing this, aren't we?
Yep. He's
but Pobelter's like, nope, there's Poppy, I'm leaving again.
I mean, he's building for the matchup. He's building a Sunfire Cape. You don't want to lane against Liss.
No.
You want this matchup against Irelia, where Irelia really cannot go forward on you. You dash in, you're going to get hit by that W, that Poppy heroic presence, and stunned up. So it certainly does make it difficult to deal with. I think Froggen is just going to push out this wave
and
base,
back.
And they're going to lane swap right back again.
Yep, Hauntzer says, all right, you can't stop me the Poppy. I'm going to grab myself a plate. So this will at least slow down the rotatos here a little bit, but Poppy's hoofing it back to top lane.
Getting her exercise in.
Yeah, exactly. It's that scenic route we were talking about earlier.
Exactly.
No fast travel here. Everybody's just enjoying the sounds of Summoner's Rift.
The sights and sounds of beautiful river, you know?
Speaking of the river,
stroll up there.
Yeah, Golden Guardians deciding this is a great place to take a little bit of a pit stop, grab themselves an air drake on their way through. Looks like it's not going to be any contest on that one. FlyQuest not willing to fight for it at this point in time, and Golden Guardians grab themselves the first neutral objective of the game.
Yeah, and driving that air dragon that much more effective when you're just running up and down river every 10 seconds. So it's the perfect dragon for the game.
It is. Honestly, there could not be a better game to have air drake be the first one. Yeah, you're cashing in on that one, but
insane.
Bottom side, it's still very, very close here in terms of farm between WildTurtle and Deftly. Turtle grabbing some nice poke there onto Deftly at the end of that one, landing all the spells. As everybody's super close except for the Irelia Poppy matchup. That's the one spot in this game where you're seeing the farm pull ahead for the side of Golden Guardians, and that's where this 800 gold lead is coming from. Poppy having a 25 CS lead over her counterpart because Hauntzer, as you said, is specifically building a powerful laning item in Sunfire Cape, as well as just having a really solid matchup against the champ.
Yeah, solid matchup. Does have the grasp as well, so you can just constantly be throwing out those passive ranged attacks with that shield to be proccing the grasp, harassing down Pobelter here on the Irelia. And you can continue to bully this matchup for a long time, honestly. If you want to build for that 1v1, you go Sunfire into Iceborne. Irelia does not get to have any fun for a really long time. You're talking, maybe 3-4 items when Irelia can actually start to do stuff, I feel like, in that 1v1. But that does require Hauntzer to just constantly lane swap and follow the Irelia around the map, because that is a build that has, not a ton of HP and no MR, so you don't want to be against Liss.
Mid lane, Lissandra going to find herself jumped on here. The counter attack comes out. FlyQuest looking to make some plays. Froggen already grabbing the kill onto Viper, but what else is going to happen on this one? It's 3 versus 1 here in the mid lane, looking to make even more go down. Over the wall comes Maxi, still looking to fight the Golden Guardians further now. Here it's 2 versus 3. Olleh going to be taken very low, barely getting himself out until Pobelter follows it up, grabbing a double kill as Deftly makes his way in, and the culling fires off. It's going to be multiple dead on both sides as Pobelter slams up into the wall. There comes more damage. Piercing light will pierce his heart as WildTurtle continues to try to run away, and Golden Guardians will call off the chase.
Such low health bars there. Turtle TPing into the fight, just barely able to arrive in time to make things swing FlyQuest's way a little bit more, and it is 2 kills going the way of Pobelter there.
3 kills on both sides at the end of what was ultimately a massive team fight just 12 minutes in.
And we're right back to even. These two teams so evenly matched. And here it is one more time. A Viper takes the claw forward, but Contractz is there to give him that rude surprise. Pobelter, though, had made the roam down. Now Hauntzer's TPing in. Maxi's flying in with the ultimate, trading down a kill. Braum shows up. You can see Turtle starts up the Ezreal TP here very shortly after, as JayJ has roamed up here too. It's 10 men mid. When's the last time you heard that this early in the game? As it is a party, and Deftly coming in. Almost able to grab that with the culling, but Hauntzer cleans it up. And then a great stun here from Hauntzer, catching Pobelter right on the edge of that wall, and JayJ sneaking out with almost no health there.
It's like one of those cooking shows where they start off putting a couple things in the pot. They're like, you know what? Let's throw some other stuff in here. Let's get some more ingredients in there. Why not some of those too? As everybody shows up from across the map to this fight, and it's still a dead even game. FlyQuest now has a couple 100 gold advantage for themselves. Golden Guardians will not let that slide for too long, though. Turret plate's about to disappear here in 20 seconds. We'll see if maybe Golden Guardians can grab one more in bottom side before they do, but it doesn't look like they'll look for it.
Yeah, they're heading over, just trying to get a little bit of vision here, and cut off JayJ and Turtle as they were on the way down. Will just be the one turret play there. They got one in top, one in mid, so a couple of them grabbed up here for the Golden Guardians, but
these teams are punch for punch,
game,
though.
yeah.
Like, for two teams that know they're going to be fighting in quarterfinals next week, this is what you want to see, as that's Golden Guardians finding themselves a pick on the enemy top, mid, whatever laner he's become.
Yep, he's any of them.
Yeah,
whichever
enemy
your heart
solo
desires.
laner. There we
Exactly.
go. I knew there was some sort of way to finagle myself out of that.
That's the call to make. And Maxi drops the ultimate, but there's no way you're going to take that one in when you show so many members showing up. 4 members there from Golden Guardians do arrive as the reinforcements came in with the Realm Warp, and it is going to be Golden Guardians grabbing the Rift Herald, and perhaps off of that Rift Herald could create the first meaningful advantage of the game.
Rift Herald to them. It will not be able to take place, so keep that in mind. Normally we talk about how Shelly is super value if you can get her early. Contractz fighting back against Maxi here, who tries to collapse. Punish him for taking that Rift Herald. Maxi's able to grab himself one. He keeps himself alive now as JayJ swoops in to make sure there's no cleanup duty.
Great job by Maxi. I mean, honestly, gets over there, does take down Contractz. Hauntzer went up the top side, it looks like, to try to push out that wave and left Contractz alone. They did think that they would be fine to actually do that. Didn't need the extra man in the area, but they were wrong as Maxi just kind of strolls in, picks up an easy kill. It is Golden Guardians, though, with the advantage on the bottom side of the map, still looking to set up around this dragon. If Pobelter goes too far forward, he certainly could get taken down here.
Definitely an Olleh will walk out over a ward that they do not know is there. The sweeper from Olleh that was used earlier just barely missed out on walking close enough to that one to see the shadow of it there in the red. As Hauntzer and Viper up here in the top side, as was originally intended by FlyQuest, but
not by Golden Guardians.
Not by Golden Guardians, no sir. Viper will be able to deal with the Hauntzer stacking armor rather easily.
Yep, and you can see he's going into some MR already, so very likely not going to be the Iceborne second. Could be something more like a Stone Plate, and they're looking for Viper.
Viper going to find himself jumped on here. Goes for the claw over the wall to make sure he stays alive. Golden Guardians don't want to do anything crazy to try to chase after that one. Meanwhile, it's Olleh finding the Glacial Fissure onto JayJ, but there's not enough follow-up there, not enough backup nearby to do that.
Very easy escape, honestly, for JayJ there, and it is Olleh without a critical teamfight ultimate available. Dragon's on the table, so FlyQuest will just grab it and polishing up them Nikes. They're going to be running faster too.
All right, you want to rotate faster back and forth between solo lanes? Well, so do we. FlyQuest answer back on that one, keeping this game dead even. And Rift Herald is summoned up here in the top side. Just going to set it and forget it. Golden Guardians not willing to push alongside Shelly for this one. She'll charge in. She'll get the headbutt. Hauntzer will try to take her down before she finishes off the turret, but I don't know if he can do it. One more swing will do it, and that is first turret over to Golden Guardians.
Yep, Hauntzer going to be able to grab up that local gold himself as well. He's going to get more of a clue as to what he is building towards here. But so far, I mean, pretty patient play from both sides. We're 17 minutes in, 5-5. Gold only 1K apart. Really, the turret there is the only meaningful difference. Mid lane is getting pretty low, but we have Maxi out on the map. His ultimate is ready. They have a lot of these engage tools, so we could see FlyQuest try to pull the trigger on a fight pretty soon.
I don't know why, for some reason, I thought Hauntzer was on the opposite side as the Shelly. As I was sitting there, I was like, why is the eyeball not opening up? But it's been a long day. This is what tiebreakers do
away with
to
you. You didn't have to call yourself out.
No, you got to admit your mistakes, Azael. When you don't understand the Shelly eyeball, it's a head scratcher for a while. But Hauntzer does manage to cash in on that local gold, like you said up there. Doing really well on this Poppy. Does have very high farm so far. And now we're going to see a fight break out here at the top side of the jungle. It's Viper going in, seeing if he can maybe keep himself alive through this one. Golden Guardian's going to be losing some health bars as FlyQuest comes out on top. It's Olleh and Contractz and Froggen all in the ground, and FlyQuest find a free-for-all.
Yeah, they get two so quickly, and then Froggen says, here, have me as well. 3 kills. Going the way of FlyQuest as they are flexing those engaged muscles, going in, knocking down multiple members of Golden Guardians so damn fast. And with the paranoia active, Hauntzer cannot respond to that fight. He's trying to clear out this wave, but he's got to be a big careful too, because this is going to go down.
I mean, what's a Poppy to do? 1 versus 4. Golden Guardians making a pretty big error there.
Yeah, they're getting caught out. It's just really powerful engage from FlyQuest, and they're honestly looking damn impressive when you consider that Maxi is playing for the first time with this team. The first LCS game on stage here as well, turning in a really impressive performance on the Nocturne.
Yeah, 2-1-4, 6 out of 8 kill participation. Not
good.
getting himself in any of those overextension spots that we sometimes see newer players do as they try to go too hard and make too many plays and end up getting themselves caught out, while bottom side could be Pobelter in some trouble here. Doing a good job sidestepping away from both of Olleh's skill shots, but when they collapse 3 men strong, it's still not going to be enough. The TP is completed, but Hauntzer's got the slam into the wall on WildTurtle. Contractz are going to chase after this one along with Deftly. They're able to find 2 kills now. Maxi in retreat, and Golden Guardians respond to the bottom lane.
Yeah, that is one you wish you could cancel, but Turtle not going to be allowed on this patch, so he does get knocked down as he comes in, losing both those summoners and his life. Pobelter did an admirable job sidestepping a lot of those skill shots coming out, but you can't sidestep the auto attack from Braum, and no, that allows them to proc that stun, knock him down. They get 2 turrets, 2 kills. A big punch back from Golden Guardians.
Punch back is the name of this game. Every single time one team gets something, the other team immediately gets something in return. And if this is what we can expect 5 games of during the quarterfinals, it should be a pretty good matchup.
Yeah, it really should. I mean, these 2 teams have shown how even they are really across the board, able to go toe-to-toe in these games so far. And here this is one more time, the engage around mid lane. Viper setting it up. They think that they maybe have to pick on Viper, but Viper in the middle has his ultimate and everything available. Maxi flies in, Rakan flies in, everyone showing up, and then Froggen just stepping way too far forward. They're not respecting the power of all those members. Maybe trying to trade something back. Then on the bottom side of the map, Pobelter gets caught out. Nice sidestep on the ultimate. Nice sidestep on the Q from Braum as well, but they get tagged with the auto. Braum passive comes through, and then Turtle's like, oh God, what have I done? TP comes through. He tries to flash out, but Hauntzer there with the stun. And Deftly and Contractz able to flash follow to get that kill. 2 for 0, 2 turrets to 0 there as well. Golden Guardians back with a slight lead.
JayJ did everything he could to try to keep Turtle alive there. Almost able to get him away, but almost isn't going to cut it. Pobelter will keep shoving up here in the top side. 4 kills on this Irelia, is the kill leader of the game so far. Trinity Force plus Tiamat up and running means he is a very threatening force in one of those side lanes. But you can see the sheen in inventory for Hauntzer means now that he has some magic resistance, he will be going for the Iceborne Gauntlet, so we'll still be able to answer that Irelia.
Yeah, definitely will, but it does put him a little bit behind in that 1v1, and now they're going for the collapse on Pobelter again.
Pobelter trying to get himself away from this one. Paranoia comes out. Maxi trying to just scare these guys away. POB with a flash, trying to keep himself in a good enough spot. Hauntzer and Deftly kiting away from the remaining members of FlyQuest as Pobelter's going to be taken down 1v3. Contractz goes on a killing spree with that one, and with the man advantage now, Golden Guardians has to be thinking, what can we get? What's the reward here?
Yeah, very well played there by Golden Guardians. Contractz forces the flash with his ultimate, saving the flag and drag for after the flash. He hits the knock-up, and that was going to be it for Pobelter. And quietly as well, you've got to look to Deftly, who is now sitting on the 2 items on Lucian. Very powerful point in the game for him. Golden Guardians grouping down around this dragon. They look like they want to try to take this one. It should be theirs as Pobelter is still down, does not have TP this game, so won't be able to try to respond to this in any way.
Right, there's no way you can take a fair fight here if you are the side of FlyQuest, so instead you're going to opt away from it. Give that second Cloud Drake over to Golden Guardians. That is all 3 Cloud Drakes down this game, so no more can spawn. Next one is going to be Infernal. And Golden Guardians will head back into the jungle, grab the blue buff there for Froggen, and reset, get ready for the next play.
And as much as we joked about it, I think Clouds are actually quite powerful in this style of game. When you have people trying to split push, trying to spread the map, pull you apart, that does give you the additional power of actually chasing these guys down. It's also in combat move speed now, since it had been updated a while ago at this point, but it really is a very powerful dragon, and Infernal coming in as that 4th dragon will certainly be a big ticket item for these 2 teams who now have a lot of AD and AP purchased up and are going to get big benefit out of that first Infernal.
As the clock marches on and we crest the 23-minute mark, Baron is going to become a bigger and bigger shadow in everyone's mind, as that will soon be the name of the game here for these teams. Baron pick control will always be important, especially when you've got plenty of damage on both sides to burn that one down. Blade of the Ruined King on the Lucian means he'll do plenty of damage to it. Having a Nocturne plus an Irelia and an Ezreal means FlyQuest won't be a slouch either.
And despite the slight gold lead for Golden Guardians, if you're FlyQuest, you're looking at these 3 members. Those are 3 juicy bounties that would more than make up for the gold differential right now. So if you can actually win a team fight, pick up some of those bounties, you're going to be sitting in quite a nice position yourselves. FlyQuest trying to very heavily hold on to this mid lane turret, though, as it does kind of give you that point from which you can extend your vision towards the Baron Pit and to try to maintain that power around it. You really do not want to be giving that over to the Golden Guardians, who are going to be trying to focus on the Baron area and are really starting to establish a strong line of vision. As you can see across the minimap here, this whole line along there is all Golden Guardians vision. They're trying to keep FlyQuest out and threaten a force.
As hard as FlyQuest is holding on to that mid lane turret, the thing is barely standing. A stiff breeze will knock it over. If Golden Guardians gets even a second of firing time on it, that objective will fall. Pobelter in the top side, continuing to clear out these side waves. Still a little bit behind in terms of farm when you compare him to the other 3 solo laners in this game. Remember, he was the one constantly forced into the bad matchup against the Poppy as per Golden Guardians lane swaps. We'll see how well he can recover there. Also, a lot of playmaking tools for these upcoming team fights. Look at FlyQuest. You've got a Guardian Angel on your Nocturne. You've got that Sonya's Hourglass completed for the Lissandra.
It's also worth mentioning here, if you haven't been watching LPL, you're probably scratching your head at Froggen's build here. He went Righteous Glory second item. This is something that Doenby has really popularized over in the LPL that allows you to have kind of more engaged potential. It does make you a lot more tanky as well. And very often it actually goes into a third item, Ryze. So then not only do you have the speed up, you have a lot of slows and much more sticking power. It's quite a powerful side lane build, especially if you're going to be matched against someone like Pobelter on the Irelia. Then hey, you're getting additional armor, you're allowing yourself to actually chase him down and kite him out, and it's quite strong.
Pobelter's now going to find a way to get himself out of some trouble here in the top side. Glacial Fissure coming in from over the wall. FlyQuest trying to mount the counter attack, but Golden Guardian still looking to finish off that enemy mid laner. They've got him. Hauntzer goes on a killing spree, and now the fight is going to be 4 versus 5. We'll see how Golden Guardians can get themselves out of this. Hauntzer going to be taken low. Olleh taken low. Damage coming in from WildTurtle, looking to fire these guys out of here. The Mystic Shot won't find its way onto Hauntzer. As Froggen's able to grab one onto Viper, they're able to grab a third now down onto Maxi. And FlyQuest only have 2 members left standing. Froggen goes behind them to cut off any sort of an escape, but the rest of the team says, forget about it, man, just go to the Baron.
Yeah, they're heading over to Baron here. Froggen not on the same page and could get caught out,
Righteous Glory! Right into the face of the enemy bottom lane. They take down JayJ, and Turtle stands alone. Golden Guardians head for the pit.
Yeah, I was thinking they might have caught Froggen out there, but he's the one who caught them out 1v2. Knocks down JayJ. These are low health bars. We'll see if Turtle can make anything happen here.
Can Turtle be the hero of the day? 1v5. Health bars are low. But man, you would have to pop absolutely off to stop these guys. Baron's gonna be secured. The root finds its way onto Turtle, who gets over the wall with his flash. But having your AD carry lose flash on top of everyone else dying and losing Baron is a rough spot for FlyQuest to be.
This is a well-fought team fight here from Golden Guardians. Again, catching Pobelter out. Using J4 plus Poppy combo, they throw down the Cataclysm. Free stun into the wall there on the Irelia. And then it looks like Froggen's not even going to join. This is a 4v5, essentially. Froggen's still split pushing for a very long time. Then decides, hey, I could actually be TPing in this fight. And he does come in. Viper is very, very low. He's able to pick up that initial kill right away onto Viper. Maxi gets knocked down by that culling as well. It's 5v2. Golden Guardians have position around that Baron. The rest of the team is heading over there, but Froggen wants more and does get it. As he pops the Righteous Glory, coming in out of vision, just absolutely destroys JayJ there.
Easy money in Froggen's pocket there. 3, 2, and 5 now on the rise. Golden Guardians found themselves a 4,500 gold lead. True Shot Barrage fired off, but you're not stealing that away from his fight.
And he's got that Ryze now that I was talking about as that potential third item. So now, good luck 1v1ing this guy in the side lane for Pobelter. He has the Baron buff. And if you extend too far whatsoever as Pobelter, he will chase you down with constant Ryze slows, the speed up, as well as all the passive speed that he can get from this phase rush and just the Ryze kit.
Golden Guardians is now in a spot where they can put FlyQuest in a nearly unwinnable position. You've got the Baron, you've got 2 minutes left to push with. There's plenty of standing gold on the map to take in terms of those tier 2s, and we'll see how well they can make this split push happen. This is what you want to see from this team coming into playoffs, is can you win cleanly now that you've got a lead? It's been back and forth. We've said punch for 25 minutes, but now that you've got that advantage, how quickly does that turn into an exploded Nexus? The faster, the better if you're a Golden Guardians fan.
Certainly the case, and right now it's the Golden Guardians solo laners knocking down that bottom inhibitor as minions are coming up in the mid lane. So FlyQuest is going to have to get back to that mid lane if they don't want to just drop another inhibitor tower. We'll see if they can hang on both sides. They're going for the engage.
Starting off, it's going to be 4 versus 3 at the very beginning here. Looking to find that collapse from the Golden Guardians. Into the pit they go, but it's going to be Contractz taken down first. Shutdown credit over to Pobelter. Froggen and Hauntzer coming in from the side. Hauntzer disengages the enemy mid laner. Maxi grabbing the kill onto Olleh means it's 2 for the side of FlyQuest. They haven't lost anyone just yet, and they pull that trigger perfectly.
Can they continue to chase though? They got this low on Hauntzer. They're looking for more.
Hauntzer may be caught out here. Maxi's still looking to go even further. Froggen going to be taken very low. Hauntzer looking to buy some time, but instead he's going to be the sacrificial lamb. He goes golden, but it's only going to buy a moment. The shutdown over for WildTurtle.
That is the kind of engage you want to see from a team back against the wall. Inhibitors being cracked, and they engage. They take the fight. They win it. And here it is one more time. So many engage tools. In goes JayJ, ult flash on top of multiple members there. Contractz in full retreat, but he's the first one to get knocked down as the shutdown comes in. Then the Golden Guardian soul laners do arrive, but Olleh is already gone. Contractz is already gone. It's a 5v3, and these are some very healthy members here on the side of FlyQuest. And with that Iceborne Gauntlet, you're landing those slows, landing the stun as well here from Pobelter. It's allowing them to actually chase down and take out Hauntzer, who, as you called out, had to be the sacrificial lamb to actually defend Froggen.
And for FlyQuest, what they just did is something that I know you and I have both had numerous personal complaints about for many teams over the course of this split, which is sitting back and waiting to lose. Surrendering everything, having 3 inhibitors down, and then saying, oh, well, I guess we have to fight. FlyQuest said, if we lose anything else right here, how are we ever going to have a chance in this game? They went for the all-in. It worked out. And that's what I want to see from teams when they're on the back foot.
You got to pick your moment, find the engage, try to force it. Even if it's a low percentage play, it's going to be higher chances of winning the game than if you just sit on that back foot and you cede ground constantly. You give up your jungle, you give up the inhibitors, because you're ceding full map control at that point. And you know, the game becomes so much about all the additional farm and objectives that the other team is grabbing. That being said, it was a successful fight for FlyQuest, but Golden Guardians still in the driver's seat.
Yes, sir.
They have the Infernal, they have the 3 dragons, and they have this massive Ryze who's going to be split pushing, building towards a 4th item, Zhonya's, that I'm not sure if anyone can 1v1 this guy at all in the side lane.
Yeah, Froggen's very strong, although there are double Guardian Angel plus Sterix Gauge builds on these FlyQuest divers, so these guys will be very difficult to peel away from the Golden Guardians members.
And that gives you that kind of one-punch fight that is so powerful, because when you have the GA on these divers, they can throw away their life to take down someone like Deftly or Froggen. And if they can do that, you come back up with that GA proc, and all of a sudden, it's an odd man fight in your favor.
Golden Guardians will continue trying to apply the pressure. It's Baron up in about 45 seconds here. They still have absolute control over this Baron area and the nearby jungle for the side of FlyQuest.
And the supers in the bot lane is actually the most difficult to defend while still dealing with that Baron that is coming up. And you can look, you know, at this topside jungle, look at all the wards. They're all Golden Guardians wards over in that jungle, and that is the gateway to that Baron pit. FlyQuest is having no access whatsoever towards that, plus they have to deal with the constant wave of supers that are coming down in this bottom lane. You can see Pobelter actually heading down here to answer it, and that is going to be something that is going to make it so difficult for them to even approach the Baron, because you don't even have vision in the area that would allow you to check on the Baron.
Viper has to be the one to answer that in the bottom side there with the Lissandra. He's got the magic damage, which most effectively clears out the super minions. Maxi popping off with the paranoia. Viper going to be TPing here into the fight. This is FlyQuest's chance. They're looking to go in and find this fight. Hauntzer over the wall, keeping himself safe for now, but a lot of damage coming through. Golden Guardian's health bar is going to be melting away. Nice shield coming out from Olleh to block the true shot barrage. But now Golden Guardians look to turn the fight right back on its head. Pobelter's able to find 1 kill. Froggen's able to grab a killing spree, but it's still Golden Guardians going down. Froggen's in some trouble and thrown up into the air. The shutdown, credit over to WildTurtle, and Hauntzer barely limps away. FlyQuest find yet another fight.
You want decisive? That is decisive right there from FlyQuest. absolutely popping off in these engages. They find the fight. It's double TP. Turtle and Viper both TPing in to join the 3-man squad. Right as they're engaging, they get 4 kills and the Baron. They're not even going to lose a Nexus turret. I think they should be able to get back to defend it. So everything really going FlyQuest's way. And again, we are back to parity here in the gold. So let's watch this one more time. Notice the double TP coming in on this side. Ward, it's both Ezreal and Lissandra coming in. Maxi into the back line. Pobelter diving forward. He gets rejected out there by Hauntzer. You're thinking, hey, this is looking like a pretty decent fight, but then JayJ gets CC onto 4 with the Rakan engaged. And by the time Froggen has arrived, the health bars are so low. Deftly's being pushed out, knocked down, and Turtle is still untouched in the back line. Firing forward with this Ezreal. He is sitting on 3-4 items at this point and is putting out a huge amount of damage. He's actually working towards a Morellonomicon. Going heavily AP with this build. He's on his double tier. He has the Gunblade and a Morello's for a 6th item there. Really wanting that healing debuff.
And I gotta praise JayJ. His ultimates have grabbed so many people this game. He's been knocking people into the air. He's been applying the shields where they need to be applied. Support play has been on point.
And I pointed out how difficult that can be against the Poppy. You know, when Poppy actually activates the W, that can reject that with that steadfast presence. So it is something that he has to worry about. So he's waiting that out. They're actually staggering a lot of their engages. So if someone gets rejected on their engage, but then they have the additional one to come in after. They're not just all expending all of their tools all at once and getting shut down by Hauntzer. So very well played team fights here by FlyQuest, and their hard engage is really making the split push look pretty ineffective. It feels like at this point, maybe Golden Guardians just need to walk around as a 5-man squad.
But here's the story so far. Golden Guardians have lost the last 2 fights because they were too far pushed up and FlyQuest were able to punish. Now, the ebb and flow of things has changed. It's FlyQuest who have to move strictly offensively into the Golden Guardians, and we're asking, can they do it? The answer they're trying to say is yes, sir! Pobelter goes on a rampage, and Golden Guardians are now going to have to fight 1 man down. Froggen going to be taken down to half HP. Calling's not going to find anything. Double kill over to POB. They're looking to find even more. It's a triple, and this is FlyQuest answering back strong. They should be able to find their win right here. And what a comeback this game has been. Hauntzer on the retreat. Can he even try to hold the line here? Deftly will try to do what he can, but it's still 5 men strong from FlyQuest.
Go now.
Nexus turrets evaporating in front of their eyes as Hauntzer and Deftly will not be able to stop the push. FlyQuest will get their revenge for earlier today, and they will take down the Golden Guardian.
And how about that for a debut of a new jungler here on the LCS stage? Maxi getting the win for his team. Pulling through when it counted most. FlyQuest will have side selection in the quarterfinals here against Golden Guardians, and they looked very, very decisive. They were fighting from behind for a lot of that game, but when their backs were up against the wall, when they were pushed into their base, they found the engages when it mattered most, and they were able to make good on it.
Back-to-back engages for big fights from a big deficit. And when you look at how everything played out this game, this rookie in Maxi, who was brought in at the last minute to sub in for Santorin, who is such a key member of this team, goes 3-2-13 on the Nocturne, starts off these dives, does great working well with the rest of the team. Pobelter slapped around in the early game, gets lane swapped on, has to deal with this obnoxious Poppy with a Sunfire cape that his champion cannot deal with early on, ends the game 10-5-5 with a 1,000 gold bounty on his head. JayJ on the Rakan. I already applauded this guy once. I'm going to do it again. The man was constantly popping off. All of FlyQuest worked together to make this happen.
They really did. The engages were so well coordinated, so decisive. They were not shut down by GGS, and they kept trying to go to the split push, and FlyQuest says, you step away from your team from one moment, we are going to kill the other 4.
Well, this was an exciting preview of what we'll be seeing next weekend, but now Olleh is standing by with an interview with FlyQuest top laner.
Thanks, guys. Viper, congratulations on the win. And with that emergency substitution last second, but you guys look so great as a team. So what can you tell me about Maxi and this game for you?
Honestly, Maxi's been always playing really well in Academy. He's been having some really good games, but we didn't expect to have him play with us today. Santorin just wasn't feeling too well, so we just had to sub him in, and he did a great job of listening to everyone and making his own calls, and I'm really glad that he played well today.
You guys did play very well, and with this win, you have locked that 4th seed as well as side selection for when you play against Golden Guardians again next weekend in quarterfinals. And that's going to be a best of 5. So because these were super close games, how do you think that's going to make a difference?
I think it'll be really, games are going to be, we're going to put in a lot more practice this week. We're going to make sure we don't fall any losses. The first loss we fell earlier, it hit us hard. Like, we realized how much we're not practicing enough, I guess. So we're going to work to fix that and make sure we don't get any losses next time.
What would you say would be the main focus for your preparation for quarterfinals?
Just playing around waves better, listening to each other more, just mainly communication. We need to work on our communication best.
And playoffs is around the corner, but that's not the only challenge ahead of you. I hear that you and Griffin's bot laner Viper have a bet going on, or almost a challenge for ownership of the name Viper.
Yeah, I challenged him to 1v1. Any terms, I told him you can do whatever you want, any terms, and he wanted to play Garen 1v1, so why not? I'm down for it. Let's do it.
All right, well, we're excited to see it. I don't know if you can hear us all the way from Korea, Viper, but NA Viper is ready. Congratulations again, and thank you. And for more on the game, let's hear from the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Garen 1v1. Not sure if that's the most mechanically intensive 1v1 you could ever see. Just who gets the silence off
to help determine who's the best top and AD.
Yeah, exactly. But it's fun to see players cross-region interacting with each other. We have to talk about FlyQuest, though, bouncing back from the loss earlier today off the back end of an emergency substitution, bringing Maxi in for one of their star players in Santorin, and still being able to come away with the victory in a very tense back-and-forth game here against Golden Guardians.
It feels like a microcosm of their splits. Both these guys have been up and down, all split long, and then in this game, back and forth, having to deal with the substitution, like you said.
Yep.
It looked like this was Golden Guardians' game for a large majority of it, and then suddenly at the very end, FlyQuest picks a couple great fights and wins. So I'm really looking forward to this actual playoff series.
Yeah, I think FlyQuest actually has to overperform as the 4 remaining main players to make sure that Maxi has a good game, because they want to make sure that he not only fits well, but that he can also feel comfortable enough to make his own calls, like Viper was saying. So I think that the 4 remaining players did a really good job in this game, and that's why it looked a little rough at first, but once they got, team fight phase where it's a lot more coordinated, it becomes so much easier to incorporate someone that's not in your team before into that.
Right. I mean, it's not like the comp was that different from what they played earlier. They played the same jungler, right? And they played team fight comp again, so they didn't have to do that much different, even though they had a new jungler.
Definitely a key. It was nice to see Maxi get that heads-up play in the top lane River with the solo kill around the Rift Herald. I'm sure that was a boost to the confidence from that point forward in the series. But let's talk about the best of 7, if you will, that will be completed with these two in the books. I mean, they're even here, splitting off the day 1-1 to go into that best of 5. Technically, FlyQuest will get side selection because of the victory here. Crumbs, talk to me about whether or not that's even important with how closely matched these teams seem to be.
See, I don't think it's going to be that important because I think these series is going to go a long ways. But, you play once, you play the tiebreaker, then you go straight into playoffs. This is the beginning of a rivalry in the making if they keep fighting this way. And so I think that both these teams are really evenly matched. And I know that we were predicting a little bit split back there. And honestly, I still think it's that close.
I actually disagree. I think when matches get really close, that's when side selection becomes a lot more important because you kind of get your own series meta and something suddenly flies to the top.
And needs to be picked in that 5th game or something.
It needs to be picked. And so I think I would expect blue side to be the important one. It feels like that's been the higher win rate side. In the Academy playoffs, similar thing happened in one of the series. Blue side won every game. So with how close this is, I do think
TSM beat Team Liquid and Red side twice.
Great for TSM. That's not the series.
It's not about the 5 either. That's like one match pace, which is much different than the series.
I mean, that's an interesting conversation, too, and we don't need to delve too far into it, but we need to remind ourselves that you do go from best of 1s to best of 5s, and they are a completely different animal. The idea of of series metas developing where, hey, two teams can completely focus around the bot lane, and then you flip to the Sunday series, and those two teams are focused around the top lane. And so, it'll be very interesting to see what these teams do over the coming weeks. As Viper was saying in the interview, he believes they need to double down on practice hard if they want to make a run deep into the playoffs.
Right. I wonder if that means they're going to do triple blocks. And as a
yeah.
player, I hated triple blocks.
Oh, yeah.
By the time you get that third block, your brain is fried.
Yeah.
Because, like, you've seen studies where people say you can't do 9 hours in the office where you're productive the entire time. Now do that over, like, an entire day of competitive level where I'm not allowed to just slack off. I have to, like, do well or my team's going to get mad at me. I wonder if they're going to do that or not, or if that's even good to do.
I don't miss that.
It's a little bit easier being up here.
Yeah.
All right,
Triple
I feel
blocks,
you. All right,
10
well,
to 9.
that quarterfinal series is sure to be exciting, but after 90 games of play, these are the player of the game champs of the league. Core JayJ, Froggen, and Crown. They are all tied in first place for those POGs. They're followed by the likes of Pobelter, Sven, and many, many others. We're not going to go through them all. Let's talk about these leaders here, starting with Froggen, since we just saw him play.
Right, and when you think of Golden Guardians, you're going to think of Froggen as he's their star player, more or less. He's carried them on countless amount of games already, and he's cemented himself as one of the best mid laners in the LCS for quite a while. And now that he's made it back up to the playoffs, I'm excited to see what he's able to do.
And he can change his haircut without it impacting his play.
Unlike someone else we
Like
know.
a few others.
You gonna hold that against WildTurtle forever? Next up, Core JayJ. This was one of the biggest ticket imports of the entire split for Team Liquid.
And he came out super hot in the beginning of the split. They were racking up wins. He was racking up player of the games. And suddenly in the back half, it feels like that has not been the case. I don't know the last time we awarded him a player of the game, honestly. And that's super surprising and opens up the MVP race completely from when this guy was almost a lock halfway through the season.
Right, week 6, week 7, it was basically Core JayJ and then everybody else. And now it feels like a much wider conversation.
I also think that it's the beginning of spring split and you're going to have a lot of individual play shine more. And so towards the back half, I think that we've been struggling more with figuring out player of the game because the teams win off of team play and they win off of, okay, we did something really intelligent as 5, and so it's hard to say, okay, who made that call or who really got to shine the extra little glimmer compared to everyone else. So yeah, he might not have gotten many recent players of the match, but I'm sure he's doing a lot of good things.
I think it's pretty cool that he's basically the only support player that was shown in the top 5 right there. Everyone else is basically a mid laner, or it was the last one's the AD carry, I believe.
Mid.
Sven.
Yeah, Sven.
So,
Yeah, exactly.
like,
an AD
to
carry.
be the only support that's tying all these other mid laners, that means he's doing huge things for his team.
It definitely does, but we are going to talk about another one of those mid laners in Crown, the other guy sitting with 5 POGs, while Optic is out of the playoff picture. These are regular split awards, so he could still be considered when it comes to MVP and the way that POG feeds into it.
This can still always qualify, but I think it's always hard to make a good ballot case when you
For our 7th place team.
For a 7th place team. That said, he can easily make it onto one of the all-pro teams.
Yes.
And he has been phenomenal. I'm very sad that we don't get to see him for a couple months because he was a treat to watch all split long.
I'm just happy he's in the NL in the LCS now, right? Like we get to have Crown here, and he's been a player that's been around the world competing, and now he's decided to make this his home, and we get to watch that.
We've got plenty of world champions here in North America.
Except ourselves.
I don't know. We just haven't created
JayJ,
We haven't
Alex, he played
created
in North
any,
America.
but we've bought them all up. A reminder that each earned player of the game will award that player 3 points in the MVP race, along with the voting that will be done in the coming weeks. Week 9, though, was packed with action as teams scrambled to end the regular split on a high note, and some of those moments were worthy of being called an LCS big play. First up, it's Chrome Lore, who appreciated Clutch's performance of saving Private Hooney.
There's really nowhere for Vayne to go.
Hey, we can help, we can help.
Lucian mid. Lucian mid. Lucian mid. He's still surviving. Are you serious?
I have no energy.
Look.
Yeah.
Let's go. Vayne, no flash. But look out, here is Sven.
I ult in on Elise, Yeah, I got Elise, I got. Nice. Look. This.
Yes.
Nice, guys. Good job.
Slaughter 3 kills and make it a 4th. They have cut down Clutch Gaming where they stand.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
Cool fight.
I don't know if
Conversation
that's
for later.
cool.
It was, I mean, although they didn't eventually save him, he does go down. It was quite a team effort. We talk about team play being crucial at the end of the split. It can also be your downfall when you
I mean, that's literally my solo queue games. You go top to try to save the Vayne, everyone loses, /FF.
There it is. All right, well, next up, I just like the LCS. Loved the cherry on top to Echo Fox making playoffs a pentakill.
Turrets drop the inhibitor as well. A quick route though. CLG might need this one to come back in, take the fight 5v4, hoping for something.
Okay, coming. Pine. You
Guys side Pine. Kill Nico.
I have.
Do it on press.
Wait, can I kill him all? Get a penta.
Dude, he's Jay.
Yay! Get a penta, boys. Hey, what can they do? I mean, our champs are unbeatable. Get the penta.
Queen 7.
Yeah, I'll die for you. I can die for you.
I'm diving.
I'll die for you.
Okay.
Let's go.
They're going for the penta. Over to
Die. I pull the pants on your life. Wait,
TP, because we can end. We can end. Okay. We have a creep.
Your first penta.
Yeah, that was actually my first penta, I think.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
We'll face TSM in the quarterfinals. What a miraculous run for Echo Fox.
Oh, Hako is such a good support. I'll die for you. I'll die for you, my AD.
Yeah, the rest of the team wasn't so down. They're like, I guess.
He almost didn't get it because
Yeah.
he took aggro and died to that Nexus turret right at the end there. I also love Rush. Rush throwing out the shade. Your first and last pentakill. Like,
Gotta keep his AD carry grounded, you know.
You gotta keep that ego in check because we know Apollo, biggest ego in the LCS.
that guy.
for
He
sure.
wasn't even the first nicest player in the LCS on the system.
All right, well, make sure you keep tweeting throughout the playoffs as teams compete for the title. As we wrap up the day, though, let's take a look at that playoff bracket to make sure you catch the LCS postseason kickoff. Log in to watch.lolesports.com with the LCS tag selected. Saturday's countdown previews FlyQuest versus Golden Guardians to kick off our quarterfinals, and TSM versus Echo Fox will be taking place the very next day. And of course, the winners of those two matches move on to play Team Liquid and C9. Down to 6 teams. Out of respect for our players' time, LCS Cooldown will not conclude this week's show, but will return following our Sunday matches in the summer split. So with that, on behalf of myself, the casters, and the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week for the playoffs.